Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sahaj Tales podcast. This is episode 7, and we have our current guest, Kethy Kist. How are you doing, Kethy?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Sahaj. Hello everyone. My name is Kethy. I am a Brazilian actress, and thank you for having me.
Uh, Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast, and I really appreciate that we can have this chat together. Uh, so tell me, Kethy, how is it like growing up?
Um, well, I was always like a bit shy, like as a child, I was a bit, shy. So I started doing theater classes to overcome this shyness and to be able to express myself more and feel more confident. I'm the type of person that i would I would get like completely red and blushed if I'm saying something, or like if all eyes are on me. So I started theater to kind of like overcome this fear inside of me, and that was really a changing point in my life, because when I started acting, I was about like 14 years old or something like this, 14, 15. And I fell in love with theater and I fell in love with acting. And my motivational change, like from using theater just to not be that shy person, I was just completely in love with the craft of acting, like with the idea, with the concept of like being able to be someone else and be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and like live different lives, out of like either a book or a movie or something like that. So that was really, really interesting for me. And I think that was like my biggest change, like when I was growing up and like becoming what I what I became. And of course, I think that's we're always like changing anyway. I am not the same person from before theater, and I'm just in constant change. How about you, Sahaj? What do you?
Are you asking me about my journey?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I was born in India, and I came to Dubai when I was 3 months old, a small child, and I've had a very sort of varying sort of education, like various forms of education. Like I was once a science student in school, and then I studied commerce, like related subjects like in business management in university, and then I started getting into the entertainment industry in 2014. I started it off as a fun thing. I wanted to try something new, and I've never done something like that before. So um, I wanted to try something. For 3 years at least, I was self-taught, but I wasn't, like amazing at it. But I was learning about certain things, and I was making a lot of mistakes back then. And then in 2018, I moved to New York City, and I trained as an actor there. I did a course at New York Film Academy. It was acting for film. It was a conservatory course. A conservatory course, if you don't know what it is like a very intensive course, which is for the medium to long term. Okay, so where there is constant teaching, and the classes were like 8 hours long, like an actual
Wow.
school. Yeah. So from then on, I started like building my craft and like getting to know about it and learning more about it. And then I came back to Dubai in September 2018. And when I came back to Dubai in September 2018, I started looking for different opportunities, and I met some really good people who helped me grow. Um, Done some short films and all that, and yeah, I had to move to India for a bit because of COVID, but I came back and I started restarted my my life in entertainment once again, and here I am. I'm now like I did a play recently. Have also directed 10 short plays I mean, I'm directing 10 short plays for Shortlist Week this year. I mean, assistant director for 10 short plays. That's what I meant to say. Uh, and I've been doing all this, and I've started this podcast off, and this is how my journey is. It is a very long, winded journey, but it wasn't actually straightforward. Where I went to acting classes when I was 5 years old or something, and like I became this person. No, it wasn't like that at all. It was my journey was completely different.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, like for example, for me, I as I started acting, I did theater for about 5 years, you know, and then I stopped, but I stopped only because I was following one of my dreams. And one of my dreams was to travel the world and, like be able to say like, okay, I've been to Paris and I've been to Barcelona and I've been to New York and I've been to Australia. I mean, I just wanted to travel and see all this different cultures and different people, and to understand like that the way that I grew up in Brazil and the way that people behave in Brazil is completely different than the way that people behave here in Dubai, for example, or the way that people behave in India. Or, of course, because I was traveling as a flight attendant, I didn't really get to go deep into these questions and everything. I've kind of like roamed into the cities and these places that I've been. Right now, maybe I've been to more than 80 countries. So that's really cool. Like it's almost 100 countries, like different countries with different cultures and everything. And of course, I couldn't grasp all of this information that I wanted to, but I feel like I fulfilled one of my life dreams, that was to travel the world and everything. But recently I had the chance and the opportunity to go back to my, first dream, which was acting. And so recently I stopped being a flight attendant, and I am now focusing on acting and writing scripts and producing content, and hopefully one day to do movies as well, but not in a way that uh, I'm just acting. I really want to tell my story and my point of view of things in the form of film, in the form of, some people might say that movies are the like seventh like craft of the world, let's say, and I agree with that. I think that movies are very complex, because you have the writing, and you have the post production and the pre-production and the production, and it's kind of like, if you put your efforts into painting like a painting something, it's just a visual art, you know or if you're writing a book, this is just like in words, so this is a way to expose your point of view for other people, and I'm in love with this other craft, and I am following another dream now. And I think that it's very important to say that, because it's not easy. I wish I was following this dream when I was 18, when I was 15, where I first started acting, and I realized this is a dream of mine, to be an actress, to act and to do all of that. But it takes a lot of like courage. You have to believe in yourself, and at that point I didn't really believe in myself, so I was doing like other things. At some point I had to make a decision on what I would study or what would I work with, and because they I don't know, I just had this concept in my mind that, okay, if I want to be an artist, I'm going to be poor. So I I to be an artist, I have to kind of like just be okay with like not making money, and then I decided not to choose this path, this career, because I was scared and I was afraid, you know and then now, almost 15 years later, I decided that, you know what, it's okay. Actually, I didn't decide that by myself. Like, I had support of my husband, so he's helping me in this new beginning, let's say, of my life. But yeah, I think it have to like it takes it takes a bold person to follow their dreams, and sometimes this can take years, until the point where you decide that you are ready to go and to pursue what you want and what you dream for your life. I think that's really cool that for you, I feel like you went to New York and you pursue your dream, and you have been doing this for quite a while. But a lot of people, they don't even stop to on their daily lives. Like, they don't even stop. Like, they are just working. They wake up and they eat their breakfast, and then they're thinking about what they're gonna do with their day, and then they go to work and they work, and then they come back from work and they're super tired, so they just want to watch TV and unwind. And that's fine, but I think we should have these moments, and to looking into ourselves, to be like, okay, who am I? Like, why am I here? What do I want for my life? Like, what is my life purpose? And then if you don't stop and do that, you're just gonna be living your life like in a like
Monotone.
exactly. I think that movie Click, it's really good, and it's kind of like about that, right? So he has the remote control that controls his life, and then he just skipping forward to into the next thing, because we're also like this, like we decide, okay, now I need a promotion in my job, or I want to be with that person, or and then we just skip forward until the rewarding part, which is
Yeah.
not, we're just living as like little robots.
Yeah. Like I would say a lot of people, they live lives on autopilot. I think some of the people live their lives on autopilot through necessity, and some just do it because they're not aware that they are doing it. You know, and of course, it's not to say that COVID has helped. Helped is the wrong word to say, but the period during COVID where people are staying at home, where they were like locked in technically. So that gave people a lot of introspection into their lives about what they're doing, why they're doing things, and several people have made moves into towards different paths altogether. I'm not saying everyone has done it, but a lot of people have done it. You know, and it is like you just see people's lives like they have changed, and either has changed through them having a major illness, maybe a family member having a major illness, some life issue going on where there was like no money in the house anymore, losing their jobs, losing their family and friends. you know all these things, they have they have like an impact on people.
Yes, for sure. I think that like everything in life, like we can choose to look at things from different perspectives. Like, yes, I do know that COVID was a sad event, in the world, and so many people have died, and a lot of people lost their jobs. But I think the capacity of like taking the best of this, it was good, because so some people were forced to leave their jobs, right? Because they lost their jobs, and then they looked at themselves and they were like, okay, so what am I doing actually? And then they changed their path, really. Like, they decided, okay, actually I don't really need to make my money this way. I can make my money some other way, being like happier and more fulfilled in my life. And then some people, they had to deal with losses, and I think this, in the end of the day, it's the break in the character that makes things different in certain ways. And of course, like I am a positive person, so I try to look at even disasters with, like, okay, so this is really bad, but what did I learn from this? What can I do with this disaster? Either you learn how you can avoid that, or you learn that, what, like, I am such a strong person because I went through that, and I'm still alive, and I'm still, like, capable, or different things. So I think that COVID was really like a kind of like a catastrophe, if you can use this word.
Yes, it
But
is. It was a problem. It was a huge deal. It was unbearable to deal with in the beginning, especially, and towards the middle, you just did not know where life was going to go for everyone. I mean, it was just uh, there's so much uncertainty. Like it was like, what are you going to do? I'll tell you one story here, by the way. So there's a family friend of mine. He was living in Georgia, okay, and he wanted to start something there, and like it was something related to, okay, it is he wanted to start a new business there, a small business of sorts, where it was related to healing and all that, and it was like he was stuck there during COVID, and he did not know what to do. And now he was researching for his business. He was working on ways to improve it, or get it done properly. But then some things were not clicking quite enough. And then there were issues with the visa and everything and all that stuff. And he came back to the UAE. Luckily, he came back to the UAE, and it has afforded him a new start. Okay, I do not know the exact details of where he is currently, but I'm pretty sure that experience in itself has helped him become more resilient and more and toughened him up even more than what it was previously.
yeah, for sure. I think that even in the worst like scenarios, or you know, we can always take something, even if it's just like, okay, I became more resilient. I I realized that I'm not as weak as I thought. I can actually deal with this, or like I am like a more capable human because of this tragedy that I went through, or something like that. And I think, leaving that aside, one of the good things that happened is that, people actually started to follow their dreams, and they took some time, and this time was forced. It was forced upon them because they had to stay at home, and they had to, you know but I think for a lot of people, it made them stop and think about their dreams, and about their wants, and about their, and I think, like, this is one of the most important things. I always like to ask my friends, or people that I know, like, okay, so what's your dream? Like, what do you dream of? And I will ask you that, Sahaj, like, what is your dream?
Okay. My dream is to build something in my life that I'm proud of. When I say building something like something in life that I'm proud of, uh, okay, I'm going to use my acting career and my entertainment career as an example. So the way I've grown up, okay, is like I'm the only child, and my parents run a business. Okay, my family runs a business together, together,
Mhm.
both in India and the UAE. So my situation is such where I'm expected to inherit it, and like run it properly. Okay. Now, what's happening here is that, okay, yes, it's a good opportunity in itself. I'm learning how to run. I'm still learning how to run this, but I need something more. I need something more fulfilling in the sense that I need to do something of my with through my own capabilities. And the entertainment industry is an outlet for that for me, and I feel very proud of um, how far I've come. And yes, it has taken some time, but I'm really happy with myself. I feel like I'm in a good space in my head, right now.
That's really good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's the worst thing that we can do. It's compare ourselves to other in a way that, oh, you just said, oh, it's taken a long time, but it doesn't really matter, right? Because this is your journey. Some people like they start working when they're 15, and then by the time they're 25 they're millionaires. And then by
yeah,
the time they're 30 they have a like a AVC and they die. And then like you're like, okay, so should I be comparing myself to this person that's you know sometimes. So what happens mostly is that as humans, okay,
yeah,
we want to portray and show everything that we are proud of, right?
yeah,
So of course if I fail, I'm not gonna just take my failings and be like, hey guys, like, look this shit that I've done. No, I'm gonna show you the good things that I've done. And then
yeah,
you are gonna be thinking, comparing yourself to me, right? Like you're gonna be like, oh, but she achieved this or she achieved that, or and then you don't know the bad things that I've done, or the bad results of my work, because I didn't show you, and I don't want to show it because I'm not proud of it. And then you're comparing yourself to this only good side that people are showing and portraying to you. And and then you look into your own journey and you're like, oh my god, but I have made so many mistakes, and I'm such a like failure or whatever. But it's not,
yeah,
because you're just like the other person who succeeded as well. The only difference is that you don't know the parts where the other person didn't succeed, because what they're showing you is only the good things. So it's kind of useless to be comparing yourself to other people in terms of like, you know where where did I reach so far in my life right now, you know but this other guy here, but this other person, like, it's kind of useless. It's good to be focused on your own journey, and not
yeah,
to be pessimistic about yourself and your abilities, and doubting yourself and things like that.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Like I'll say something as well. Like what you said about like people showing the good sides about themselves and like the more successful sides about themselves. Social media has amplified that aspect of life. I feel like, okay, I get it that people don't want to show the bad, negative parts of themselves because they may fear rejection or maybe abandonment, or I don't know, the fact that people will judge them negatively, or I don't know how it works, but yeah, I that has amplified that point of life. Um, so if you have noticed, or if you have not noticed, or anyone, okay, uh, I have kind of recently changed the way I view social media. I focus on a subtle change in the way I use social media. So it's like where I'm more open to displaying everything which I'm doing, in the sense that like it's not an open book, but more like a more trying to be more authentic about what everything that's going on in my life, rather than just saying the good things and the bad things. Sure, yeah, not I've not been everyone's cup of tea, but maybe it has resonated with some people. I think, I hope that's the case. Like even this podcast, for example, I'm learning a lot about this industry, and I'm learning a lot about how things work in this in this industry of podcasting and like creating video streams and all that stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, but and it's okay to learn and grow. That's how it works, and you have to push yourself to learn. I feel. And about social media in general, I think you just have to you know it's a it's not a winner's take all mentality. It's more like you have to be true to what you're doing. I personally feel that, you know.
Yeah, I think like I agree with you, but like I see social media as like a really good tool, you know. You can use social media, for example, to express your feelings, and like kind of like a diary, you know, and like where you have people following your journey, and then you're open about it, or whatever it is. Like you can use it as a more personal thing, you know. But you can also use social media as like marketing tool, you know, for your projects, or for your you know, to receive some recognition. Because nowadays, like, let's say, you know, um people gain recognition in different ways, you know. For example, I'm doing this web series, you know, online on YouTube. So YouTube is kind of like a social media, and I know that the more views that I have, um, the more, not, I wouldn't say meaningful, but more, the more people will respect my work and my craft as I'm doing, you know. Of course, like I in the future, like, or whatever, you know, I want to be able to receive this recognition some other way, you know. And I do need this recognition, because it's not only about like being seen, and it's also about being respected, you know. And when people respect you, and respect your job, and respect what you're doing, they are more
Yeah,
likely to want to work with you, you know. And then therefore you can create and produce more. Because one thing that I realized is that um, it's not possible to do things by yourself. It's just
yes,
not really possible. It's not, you know, even you realize that, because I'm here in this
yeah, because
podcast,
yeah, just one person.
right?
I mean, I get it. The whole point. Okay, it's not possible to do everything by yourself, but it is possible to make a difference in people's lives individually. That's what I think.
Yeah, of course. But for example, for like for the purpose of this podcast, right? If you do a podcast just by yourself, like you can do it, but it's more interesting if you invite more people, you know, to
Yeah.
participate with you. And then in movies, what you're gonna do? Are you gonna do the camera, or you're gonna act, or you're gonna put the stable camera there
Yes.
and act and say the lines and dialogue? Okay, you say it like this, and then on the other side, and then on the no, you need someone to be doing this with you, you know. And
Yeah.
like many other things, you know, like you can cook a meal by yourself, and you can eat it by yourself, but it's so
Yeah.
much more beautiful and meaningful when you are able to share with someone else, you know. Like from a meal to a podcast to a movie to everything else. Like we are by nature like a very sociable creatures, you know. We need other people to make things more interesting, or you know, to make them actually meaningful, you know. Because
Yeah.
even if you say like, oh, you what you just said, right? Like I can individually do
Yes.
something to impact others, but in the end of the day, if you don't have someone to be impacted by
Yeah.
your individual actions, you're not doing anything. We can't, like, as humans, do anything by ourselves, you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
in
That's
this
true.
sense,
That's
you know.
absolutely right. Yes. Yeah. So tell me about your journey as in acting, especially. What made you come to Dubai? In tech,
So
what really made you
I
come to Dubai?
I came to Dubai because I got a job for Emirates, and I was a flight attendant for almost 8 years, and yeah, it was really good for me because it like this journey that I had of almost like 8 years, it made a huge difference and impact in my life. I can say that I am definitely not the same person that stepped foot in Dubai, you know. I living in Dubai, like I've learned about the Arabic culture a little bit more, and about like different cultures, and then after having explored and been to so many countries as well, that impacted me too, in the way that I behave and the things that I know. And yeah, it was, I'm really grateful to have been given a chance to have this job as a flight attendant, and
Yeah.
to have one of my dreams fulfilled.
Yes.
um, but then during the pandemic, I discovered Alex, and you know, I found him giving classes, and I started taking these classes again, and this passion for acting like was restored in me in a way, you know. And after 2.5, almost 3 years of like intense acting, and then after I met Alex, like I've done several classes with him. I went to London. I did an intense workshop, just similar to the one you did in New York, but it was only 1 week because the pound is very expensive. And after this course that I did another, like some drop ins in London as well. And then I
Yeah.
started some classes, online classes in Brazil as
Yeah.
well. It was, this one was a bit tricky, I'm gonna say, because of the time difference, you know, because
Yes. Yes.
in Brazil, like we're 7 hours behind. So even
Is it
right
only
now, like,
7? Is
yeah,
it only
7 hours
7 hours?
behind. So it's morning now. It's like 3, almost 4 p.m. here in Dubai, and then in Brazil, it's morning time. So
Yeah.
the classes would go on, like, let's say they start at 2 a.m. and then they finish at 6 or something like that. So I think that's being an actor and like learning about this. It's, if it's not like some like deep strong desire inside of you, you won't be able to do it, you know, you won't be able to pursue it, because only a person that really freaking loves this will agree to be awake from 2 a.m. until 6 a.m. just to
Yes.
participate in a class, you know, just to learn something more about acting. And that's how passionate I am about acting and about like filmmaking, you know. And yeah, recently I had the chance to do this web series on YouTube. We already had one episode with more than almost 300,000 views, but we had to
That's
take this one
that's
down.
great. That's great. Congratulations on that. Yeah, congratulations to
Thank
you.
you. Yeah, we actually had to take this one down because the actress that was involved in the show, she wasn't okay anymore with being exposed in this level, you know. So we had to take it down. But we have two more episodes now out in the air. And
Yeah.
this episode's actually like, one has almost 30,000 views, and the other has almost 80,000 views, and we posted less than like a week ago. So I think the numbers
Great.
are looking pretty good. You know, of course, it, that episode that had almost 300,000 views was like almost 2 months old, you know, when it reached that number. So I
Yeah.
think that maybe we can reach good numbers with these two
Yeah.
episodes that are already out. We have been to Paris to do this shooting, and we also went to London to do the shooting. The London part is the part that we had to take out. And then recently we also traveled to Brazil because
Yeah.
this partnership is with someone in Brazil, like the person that owns the channel, the YouTube channel is in Brazil. So we went
Yeah.
to Brazil to do like some shootings, some episodes there. And I think from the Brazil part, we have like about 5 episodes as well. The thing is, it's very hard because we're doing this out of our own pockets, and we're doing
Yeah.
this by ourselves,
Yes,
So in
and that,
Paris,
that
for
can be,
example, uh,
that can be very, that can be very, it's a gamble, you're taking. As,
it is. I mean, it's not a gamble because it's something that, like, even like even if it doesn't return in terms of financial return, this is a really good learning experience
yeah.
into, learning what we can do, doesn't work, how we need to make things different or better for the next time we're doing,
Yes.
so it's also like a learning experience, all this investment. Of course, like, it is not cheap. And we're actually trying to turn everything, like, when, well, this, right? When we have a movie production or something like this, um the behind the cameras, it's at least 10 people, right? Like, you need someone to operate the sound, you need like a cameraman, there will be someone writing the script, there will be
Yes.
someone reading the script and like
Proofreading
making
it.
sure that it looks good or whatever it
Yeah.
is, like an editor. And
Editor.
then from that time, like, you can have like a small a small production, at least 10 people, right, behind, on the post production, or during the production, or even in the, like, pre-production, anyway. And we're kind of doing this by ourselves. So
Yeah.
what we did in Paris, and what we did in London, and what we did in Rio, it was only me and my husband, only two people.
Yeah.
So we're doing from screenwriting to script writing to final editing. We're using Final Cut Pro. We're editing everything, all the episodes, and the music we choose, and the acting, and kind of like everything we did by ourselves. Of course, we had some actresses to be in our show, because, like I said, um, you can't do things by yourself. Even me and my husband, like, we can't do it by only these two people. So yeah, and I want to, of course, expand and work with more people, but this is, like, for now, this is how it's going to be. And it has been like a really interesting journey, for this. And since I lost I left my job, I decided, like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to act. And then, okay, so I created the opportunity for myself when we decided to create this series. Of course, it was good because we had this collaboration with this guy that owns the channel. But yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. That's cool. Okay. So one question I wanted to ask you was that, have you seen people fulfill their dreams and you have watched them fail or something? And how did that go for them if it did, you know, did happen,
um I think that, like I said, people, they don't stop to go and start even dreaming, you know but then sometimes they do stop, they dream, and they decide to go after their dreams. But I don't think that it's a case of, like, failing to achieve your dream.
Yeah.
It's more like, maybe you didn't try, you know on the proper way. I think that Thomas Edison,
Yeah.
he when he was inventing the light, like the
Light bulb.
electricity or whatever.
Light bulb.
Yes, it took him 1,000 times. He found 1,000 ways of not making that work. But if he had only stopped, let's say on the fifth time saying, oh, I'm gonna give up, I can't do this, then we wouldn't have electricity, right? Like, so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of not stopping, of
Yeah.
not stopping. If you didn't achieve your dream yet, it's just because it's you found a thousand ways of not making that work. And then
Yeah.
eventually, if you pursue and if you like keep insisting on it, you will be able to follow through and like live your dream
Yes.
at some point.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Okay, and another thing is that, do you think it's worth it for people to risk everything and like fulfill, go towards their dreams, or do you think there needs to be a more pragmatic approach to it, like a more sensible approach to things?
Look, I would say something that is about my journey, right? So I had the dream of being an actress and acting and like having this as my job when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the time for me. And I was sensible about it. And I decided to kind of like let that slide for some time. And then now I picked up from where I left off, and then now I'm following my dream. So that was, um, let's say, sensible of me, and would have made my life would have gone completely different. Like I wouldn't be in Dubai right now if I
Yes.
had decided to follow my dream when I was 15 years old. So I think that first, like, and most importantly, you have to be ready, you know,
Yes. Okay.
and you have to have confidence in a way that, okay, this is my dream. It's something that I am really passionate about and I really want, and I cannot die without having fulfilling this.
Yes.
And then you have this in your mind, right? And then you're like, okay, but am I ready? Do I
Yes.
feel safe? Do I feel secure to go and follow my dream?
Yeah.
Will I have the willpower to take rejections and take failures and rise above these failures?
Hmm.
if if not, like, if the answer for that it's no, I so you're not ready yet, so you have to
Yeah.
wait, you have to be sensible.
Yes.
But if you answer to your questions in a way that, okay, I feel like if I don't do this, I am not myself, or I don't feel like I'm leaving and I had lived if I don't follow this intuition inside of me, then even though maybe sometimes it's a reckless move, you have to go for it.
Yes. Yes, it's true.
But also, like, you have to have, like, you have to be ready inside of your head before
Hmm.
taking these decisions. You
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
absolutely postpone your dreams, and and that doesn't mean you're weak or whatever. It's just you are getting ready for your own progress, for your own journey, and that's fine. Like, we are, like I said before, we don't need to compare ourselves to others,
Yeah.
because in the end of the day, we don't know what they're going
Yes.
through, or what were their opportunities, the
Yes.
chances that they had and you didn't have, or whatever it is.
Yes, that's true. It's true. Absolutely. You know. Anyway, thank you so much, Kethy, for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it. It has been a great time talking to you about all of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode, everyone. Please like, comment on, share, and subscribe to my channel. Um,
And
and
thank
yeah,
you for having me. And
yes,
if
yes,
you guys are interested in my web series that I'm producing, you can go to YouTube and you can type Layover Love, and maybe you will find me.
yes, definitely. I think I'll post the link on the comments, so that you can, so that's what I'll do. Anyway, Thank you so much for watching this show, and I really appreciate you all listening to the podcast and supporting it. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.